Yeah, obviously it's not ideal, but it's been a massive growth year individually and as a collective. We've learnt an array of different things throughout, and ultimately this year it wasn't ours.
First time in your whole career you're going to be playing a match where you can't make the finals. Does that affect the motivation level at all? Is it going to be hard to find just the motivation for this week?
Individually, for me, it won't be. I was actually talking to a few of my teammates, and as long as I've lived in Geelong, so since I was 13, I've actually played finals every single year. So it's something it's definitely new to me personally, but I understand how lucky I am to be able to play for Geelong every week. So my motivation doesn't wane, and it's a new opportunity that's in front of myself and the group to get something out of it. I think that's almost going to be more difficult than getting up for, say, a big game, because the motivation levels are an all-time high. So it's another opportunity to learn and to grow, I think.
Will there be any other players, leaders, potentially Jeremy Cameron and Tom Hawkins, having a miss this week?
I'm not sure about Jez, but I think Hawk will miss this week. I think he has not only earned that right, but he's had quite a difficult season individually. And then obviously losing Sav hurts and Closey and the like, but it's an opportunity for others to step in and learn how to play at the level. We've, as I said, had a lot of growth from individuals we may not necessarily thought we've had to call on, so it's another chance for them to put their best foot forward and to pull on the hoops, which again is a massive privilege in itself.
You mentioned things that you've learned. What do you think did go wrong for the Cats?
Go wrong or go right?
Go wrong.
Ultimately, a lot of injuries played their part, but I think the biggest thing I've learnt this year is just the equality and the competitiveness of the competition. I've been so thankful and so grateful to play in a Geelong team that's competed and has never not contended for the pointy end of the season. So I've learnt that you can't take it for granted. There is 17 other teams that go to work every year, and ultimately the industry we play in, there's only one winner. So rightly or wrongly, we see that as a club that we're going to give ourselves every opportunity moving forward to do that, and we think that's the right way to go about things.
You mentioned some your players coming in this week. Any debutantes or any fresh faces we can catch them to look forward to this week coming in?
I'm not sure exactly. I think that's up to the coaches and the way they sort of best contend with who we have to play, because we're playing a really, really good team in the Bulldogs that have some amazing weapons. So I think I'll leave that up to them, but as I said, I'll just come with my best attitude and try and get the most out of the game.
In terms of the year you've had, your coach says that you're the most influential, if not one of the most influential players in the team. We hear other coaches say, they're teaching their players to play like you. How does it feel when you hear those comments?
I think a younger version of myself would have dipped into that and tried to hear all of those things and take it as plaudits, but I'm just trying to focus on what I can control inside our football club. Ultimately last year I was a premiership player for Geelong, and that's my goal every year. It's my aspiration is to be the most successful team that we can be, and I don't hear it very often. I try not to listen to those things that I can't control, because it takes away from what I'm trying to do with this group. But as long as I'm contributing in a positive way to this team, that's all I can ask of myself, and anything that comes along with that is just an added bonus, I think.
Just quickly as well, obviously our head bank on the AFLW mural this year is still full. How do you expect the program yourself? What's it like to see stuff coming into the building and coming up again with the captain of the recipients?
Yeah, it's so exciting, Susie. I was lucky enough in 2018 and 2019 to be a part of the program as a line coach. So to see the development and the admiration that these girls deserve coming in these sort of areas is fantastic, not only for our club but for the entire competition. I've worked with Meg, and to see her up there is really something I find great pride in. And we understand that the AFLW season's starting now, and it's our job in the men's program to throw our support behind them, because they've been nothing but fantastic for us. Shared facilities and the time that they spend at the club, I've got nothing but admiration for the way that they live their life, and the effort and time they put into football is something that's it's absolutely brilliant.
Just quickly, Jonathan Segler announced his retirement a couple of hours ago. What's he brought to the club the last couple of seasons? Even though he probably didn't get on the park as much as he would have liked.
Yeah, I think having both John and Isaac come from a really strong program in Hawthorn that had a lot of success in their time there was nothing but valuable for our group. Isaac especially brings that premiership pedigree, and we saw his best last year in the grand final, but Segs in his own right brings that as well. He pushes the mark with things, and he's not afraid to ask questions, which I think is invaluable from a senior player. So I'm going to miss both of their banter around the locker room. Isaac's a bit more boisterous and Segs is a bit more quiet, but I'm going to miss them both tremendously. As you do every sort of moment this time of the year, like there is sad moments that come with the game in saying goodbye to some of your friends, but yeah, we'll get through this weekend and we'll see him off appropriately with some fun, because you sort of earn that right every year to come together as a group and have a bit of fun together. And I'm sure there'll be other list changes that happen, and again, that's a part of the game, but we'll see him off in the right manner.
Obviously, season opening right up this week, but it's the Mad Monday, Wacky Wednesday. The costume's been in the works from you guys for a little while.
Yeah, it's something we take great pride in down here at Geelong, and I think we will do a Mad Monday this year instead of the Wacky Wednesday. I think sort of having that date known now is sort of brought a few things forward in terms of our exit interviews and things that are in the works this week. But yeah, I think there might be a few rushed ones, but I think we'll still put our best foot forward with the costumes this year. We'll see how we get to.
Tom, I know that you guys have already had a couple of retirements, and I know that Tom Hawkins is, just trying to weigh up his future at the moment. Just how important would his contribution be in 2024?
Yeah, I think you can't understate Tom Hawkins' contribution, not only from a playing standpoint, but in particular for me as a leader of the club. Having him as a sounding board is something that I truly value. There's not many things he hasn't experienced in football, so to be able to bounce some ideas off him and use him as someone that's in my corner is invaluable. He's got a decision to make, but I think he's earned that right to make that with his family and what their preference is moving forward. I'd love him to go around again, and I think that's the selfishness in me that I want to contend again next year and have the best team possible. So we all love Hawk, and we all know how good he is for our footy club and the greater footballing community.